How would you like to successfully create and sell children's books on Amazon using Amazon KDP? Well, in this video, I'm going to lean on my 4 years of experience in selling well over 150,000 copies of children's books to guide you through the process of creating the book and then selling the book. So it's going to be a two-part video. Anyway, let's get into the video right now. Hello and welcome. My name is Romney and I'm the founder of Global Self-Publishing. Thanks very much for joining me on my YouTube video today. Now, in previous videos, you might have seen me show books such as Archie the Bear, which I've been selling across Amazon for the last few years. Now, these books have been highly successful, so I want to guide you through that process of creating these children's books so you can have success as well. Now, I've created the presentation. Part 1 will be the creation of the books and some key things you need to keep in mind. And part 2 will be a short part about trying to sell the books to the customers and things that you need to consider when you do that. Let's get into the presentation right now so I can fast track you through selling thousands of books on Amazon and in particular selling great children's books. Let's get onto it right now. So how to publish and sell children's books on Amazon KDP. Going to be moving through this relatively quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on each area, but I do want to cover it to ensure you're aware of how I've made my books successful. So part 1, creating your children's book. There are 7 key areas that you need to be aware of. Firstly, you need to conduct thorough niche research. We're going to be creating your framework, so working out what needs to be included in the sections of your book, and that includes book research and manuscript. Then number 3, create your title and subtitle and using the right keywords. 4 is your format and structure of your book. Number 5 is the design. Number 6, the upload to Amazon KDP. And number 7 is the marketing. And that's where we move on to section number 2 of this video. So why self-publish on KDP? Well, there's several advantages why I would recommend that you publish, particularly self-publish. So you have greater control over the process, including the design and the storyline. When I had my first book published, it was through a major publisher, and I did lose that opportunity to have much say in a lot of the manuscript and also the cover. So that's my preference. Number 2, you make a greater return on each sale. There are advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, a major publisher will do that marketing and heavy lifting for you. As a self-publisher, you need to ensure you do that yourself. So you might get a greater return, but you do have to work harder on the marketing. And number 3, the timeline to create is significantly reduced. So when you're self-publishing, you can make that timeline. You can create a children's book in 30 days. But if you're working through a major publisher, then it could take up to 12 months to get published. So step number 1, creating a plan or a framework for your book. So what I'd recommend, and I can put these links in the description below, is to have a spreadsheet to track your niche research. So I've created some videos recently where I talk about the niche research process that I take. So make sure you go and check out those videos, and also using the right software. So my go-to is Publisher Rocket and also KD Spy. They're probably the 2 key niche research tools that I use. Then we need to create a plan of your story and manuscript. So you need to work through what your story and manuscript is going to look like. Is it going to be specifically targeted at a certain age group and demographic? Number 3, a plan for your illustrations and images. So what that is going to look like, and if you're going to outsource or whether you're going to find your own images. Number 4 is the title and subtitle research. And number 5 is determining the size of your book, because your book dimensions might actually influence the kind of buyers that purchase it. So let's look at step number 2, conducting your niche research. As I've mentioned before, I've got plenty of videos which talk through the niche research process. And that involves exploring different categories and then looking at the niche and then micro niching down, because we want to find different niches that have the low competition. So therefore we can compete with the keywords that are at play with that. So conducting thorough niche research is step number 2. Number 3 is your title and your subtitle creation. There is a lot to be said about poor title and subtitle creation when it comes to keywords. People try and be too clever. You need to include in your title those keywords which customers are searching for, and it needs to flow naturally. If you can't fit a particular keyword in the main title, try and include it in your subtitle, but make sure it flows. I've got other videos about title and subtitle creation if you want to check out those. Step number 4 is the format and structure. So you need to determine, are you going to choose 8.5 by 8.5 inch, like the book on the right hand side here, or are you going to choose a 6 by 9 inch? The format and structure is important. You need to have the format which is going to be suitable for your audience and the size of the book. So Amazon have quite a significant number of paperback sizes, but they do limit your hardbacks to about 5 different sizes, and you must have over 75 pages for a hardback. But you need to work through that as well. Step number 5 is your design. So there's quite a few steps here. It's considering the overall design of your book, illustration, the images, of course. Do you outsource or do you choose the images yourself? You need to create your front cover, your back cover. Do you look at creating a hardback, paperback, and ebook? Know your audience. I know that I choose hardback and paperback for many of my books, and with some ebooks, I tend to find I have more success in selling the paperbacks. Format your cover correctly for upload. We don't want to have the wrong file type that gets uploaded or any issues because you just keep getting rejections. Create your book interior, write your description, and be publish ready. So have all your file types ready to go. When you're choosing your images, you need to ensure you have commercial use of your images. And that's probably a bit of an issue that we're now facing with people that are publishing on Amazon KDP, is they're infringing on commercial use image rights. Now that could include using AI, so just be very, very careful. But you might choose to outsource your illustrations to groups like Fiverr, Upwork, or even Freelancer. And I've even had a freelancer design these illustrations for me. And I've got a course about successfully publishing children's books, or how to create and design them for Amazon KDP. And during that course, I actually step you through the process I took to get these illustrations from the illustrator and looking exactly as I wanted. So the format types, when we're looking at our paperback and hardback, is it going to be a great gift book? If so, people might be prepared to spend more to purchase a hardback. Is it best in paperback, or could it be a great book that could be put on a tablet for an ebook? So think it through, the format types. What's going to be most suitable for you? Step number 6 is ready for upload. This is when you need to ensure that you have the right file types ready to go. And you need to create your KDP account. If you haven't already done so, just Google create a KDP account and it will come up on top of the search results to create your account. And when I talk about ready for upload, I want you to ensure that you've got your cover in a PDF format, and your manuscript needs to be formatted so it is ready in either a doc or a docs or a RTF, or preferably, which I use, is a PDF version of that manuscript ready to go. Step number 7 is your launch and marketing of your book. Now, this is where we transition into the next section, where we're looking at ways that we can sell our book effectively. I always have a correct and a proper launch strategy. Again, I've got a course which helps through that process, but you can check out the description if you want to look at that even more. So let's look at part 2, selling your children's book and making a successful go of it. You spend far too long creating the book to let this section go. Don't just be the person that uploads your book and doesn't do anything about it beyond that point in time. So effective launch. Make sure that you have a plan in place. You need to ensure that for that launch, you go as hard as you can for the first 30 to 60 days to get as many reviews as you can, to get as much publicity as you can, to do as much marketing as you can. It all comes down to that launch process. And that goes on to step number 2 is, if you can get some great reviews to start with, if you have a launch team, you can get 4, 5, 6 reviews. Therefore, when you do have customers that go to that book, there's social proof. And that's where marketing and advertising come into it, as well as publicity and media. Publicity and media might be YouTube videos. You might be able to appear on a TV show. You might be able to appear on a local radio station or at a book signing at a library. Let's look at marketing and advertising. So I use Amazon ads. Why do I use them? Because they can drive initial sales to your book, and it increases the relevance for your keywords as well. If you can get your keywords ranking and what customers are typing into the search engine, then that is going to be an amazing way to increase your reviews. I've actually doubled up on that on step number 5, but it does increase your reviews due to sales, and also the marketing is direct to the Amazon customer. Amazon ads is right there. Customers are searching for books just like yours, and there's no better place to be able to get attention in front of those customers than having Amazon ads. So I'd highly encourage that you look at that. So that is a quick view of how to sell and create your books for Amazon KDP. Let's have a look at a few other quick things before we finish, and some important considerations for when you're creating your books to publish on the largest platform in the world. I often get asked about what the key decisions that I've made that have helped my books be so successful. And if I was to break them down to the top 3, it would be that initial niche research and having a purpose and a reason to create that particular book. I want to be passionate about it. I want that to flow all the way through the process of getting the illustrations, of writing the storyline and publishing the book. I want to have that passion, because if I have that passion, it means that energy is within that book. And it means it's going to be special to a child that reads that book, or a parent that's reading that book to the child. So it's having that purpose, that why. Why is it that I want to create that particular book? Number 2 would be getting the right keywords in your title and your subtitle. If you can get the keywords that customers are searching for, then that's going to significantly benefit you for that initial stage. Number 3 would have to be the reviews and sales. If you can get those initial reviews happening, then it provides that social proof, which effectively allows you to market your book on Amazon ads and be successful at it. You might have to limit your budgeting to begin with, but if you've got that social proof, it just gives you so much more of a boost to get sales and get traction from marketing your books. So the reviews and the marketing for that first 30 to 60 days, you've just got to put your foot to the floor and be consistent and resilient and be determined to make that book work. So they're some of the key things that I feel have been important when creating my books to become successful books. And outside of that, I think I've been very fortunate with the illustrators that I've had as well. So one in particular, Svetlana, who does the illustrations for my Archie the Bear series. She's extraordinary, the way that she's able to convey what's in my mind and put it on paper and to create those illustrations for me, which are engaging for children. So they're some of the key tips that I'd have for you and why my books have been successful. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, if you want additional resources or support with publishing on Amazon KDP, make sure you check out my website, which is globalselfpublishing.com, and there are several tabs. One's about resources, one's about starting Amazon KDP, another one's on courses, and another one is on software and the platforms that I use to self-publish my books. So until my next video, thanks very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and give me the thumbs up if you've liked this video. And until next time, I'll see you later on.